believe it? I'm recording an episode. This is great. This is great. So, howdy folks. Welcome to the Maddfuzzy Podcast. It has been, like 3 months, guys? Oh my God. I cannot believe what has happened in the last 3 months. I got some knitting done. I got a lot of knitting to talk about. Clearly, I have moved again. Every time I move, I suppose I have to give this disclaimer. This is a working setup. We'll get this into iMovie. We'll process it. We'll see what happens. It'll change. So if you are a new viewer, welcome to my knitting podcast. I am Marta. I have been on a small hiatus, but I'm back. So if this is your first time tuning in, I'm trying to figure things out. I moved to another town. I moved to Camden, Maine, which is kind of your quintessential coastal town. I am living at a fabulous lake house on an island in Maguntacook Lake. I had a friend who had a room for rent in his basement, and he was renting this house on the lake for the winter. So I moved here. I'm digging it for sure. But yeah, this is a new setup for me as well as a new setup for you. So bear with me as I iron out all the details. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. Thank you for sticking with my hiatus, for still doing things in the Ravelry group, for still commenting on my Instagram, because there's been some lulls in that as well. I've not been the best. But it's hard when you're in transition and you're trying to kind of get your own life situated. It's hard to sit down and put forth this energy that requires me to sit here and talk to you, and it does take a lot of, for me at least, a little bit of guts. I'm just gonna sit here and hopefully make some sense and whatnot, but I wasn't mentally ready to talk to you, and I sure wasn't physically ready. I was in transition, and I just finally got my little crafty area down here set up. I am in the basement. It's got great natural light, but today is a super gloomy day. It is currently raining, but rumor is it's gonna snow in a little bit here. So, all right, bring on the snow. It's officially winter here in Maine. All the leaves are off the trees. Bring on the snow and the knitting. I've been getting a lot more knitting done. So it's really dark. My only light source is my big ring light. So I may look absolutely insane. The lighting might be absolutely insane, but hopefully the yarn looks correct and you enjoy all these projects that I have just finished, and I'm very excited to show you. Yay. So again, if you are new to this podcast, welcome. It is so nice to meet you. My name is Marta. I live in Maine. I own my own sock yarn company, Maddfuzzy Yarns. I always do show notes. They're down there in the description bar. There's links to the Ravelry group, to my Instagram, to my Etsy shop. So if anything you hear about on this podcast, also it'll be listed down there. I'm not very good at Ravelry project pages, so all that information is down there too. So this is obviously a knitting podcast. I have lots of knitting to share with you, but I wanted to start off this episode by talking about a little something I have kind of let go to the wayside, and hopefully we'll make up for that today. So remember a little knit along I was kind of hosting? It's called Skeindeer All Year. Yeah, you guys are awesome. You guys kept knitting Skeindeer. I did not continue to knit Skeindeer. I've got a lot of projects. Most of them are socks. So thank you all who posted in that. There were 6 new entries from the last time I drew prizes. I know we're now really off on these quarterly prizes. I am currently only really working at the bar, so I should have a lot more days. I'm going to try to get this podcast on a regular schedule by keeping my setup set up and by making it easier to podcast. I've updated my computer, so hopefully all those editing issues that I had last time will be completely alleviated, and yeah, we'll be back and running for the winter. So yeah, the 6 of you, I randomly drew a number. It was number 6, which, by the way, girl, you real lucky. It's Bork P again, Patricia. So you are gonna win this fabulous sock set. This is by Lynn's Fine Yarns. It is a little pink mini and a gray full skein. She was so kind to donate these to the podcast. Thank you so much. If you're out there, Bork P, I might actually still have your address, so you're a winner. I'm going to send this out to you as soon as I possibly can. Thanks so much. I mean, can we level for a second here? You have been amazing. I think there's something like 4 projects you have in that. So congratulations. You have really taken the spirit of Skeindeer All Year and are awesome. So without people like you, there was another person who had done several entries as well. Thank you guys. You're really, I mean, it's amazing. I'm in a spot right now that it's a weird transition. I'm weirdly transitioning and trying to become an adult and get my life back together. And really, honestly, the fact that you guys like took up the mantle and kept doing this weird idea of mine simply because you enjoyed it, it's a light at the end of a tunnel for me. So thank you so much for keeping up with that and doing that. It really does. It means so much to me. So I'm really happy to send this to you. Thank you. Yeah. So let's talk about some knitting. This is going to be a long episode if I just don't get going. I have 4 finished socks. So let's get them on the blockers here and go through them. 2 of them are Maddfuzzy socks. One of them you have already seen. So let's get this one on. I know I should have done this beforehand, but I was anxious to get going because I have some things to do in Belfast, like check my P.O. box and go to the bank because I don't live there anymore. So this is the first one. This is the villainous socks I was working on. This is just a simple vanilla sock. With my yarn, I always do 60 stitches instead of my traditional 64. I find my gauge is a lot looser with my yarn for some reason, so I do go down that stitch count, and they fit perfectly. So I dropped the other one, bear with me. All right, there we go. So there's the other one. These are gonna go in my kind of show kit so that people can see how colors knit up and whatnot. They're not for me, they're for the business. Like I was saying before, I do have a small indie dyeing sock yarn business. I source all my fleeces from local Maine farms. I have them spun for me up in a roost stick, and then I dye them myself. Currently this house, it's going to be interesting to see how I'm going to dye here. It's a really small kitchen. It's not really well set up for it. I may be able to cool things really quickly on this gorgeous porch that's wraps around the house. So the winter I might be able to do a little bit more dyeing, but at the moment I've kind of come to a screeching halt on being able to dye yarn. So I hopefully will work that out. I do have a lot of things in my shop right now if you want to check them out. But that's kind of going to be most of what I'm going to have for a little bit. I do plan on doing the New England Farm and Fiber Festival again in Boston, so I guess I'm going to have to figure out how to dye yarn sometime before February. So this is the next sock I finished. This is my Stormborn colorway. This is again a Maddfuzzy sock, 60 stitches, knit on, I believe, zeros. I did a heel flap and gusset because I find that is really what fits the best. This will be another shop sample. Got the other one right here. Yeah, so 2 finished Maddfuzzy socks. You know my complete addiction to commercial sock yarns. So of course I have a pair of commercial sock yarn socks. Let's see if I can remember. I believe, I know this is so long. I don't have tags or anything. We're just going to keep going through these. I think one of the main reasons I was having trouble podcasting is because there was so much stuff before that I just don't know where to begin. So I'm just going to go through everything I have finished. I'm going to accept that I don't remember everything, and we'll kind of catch back up so that we can hopefully get regular episodes out. And I can talk to you, I'm going to say bi-weekly. I'm not the most prolific knitter ever. So bi-weekly there'll be enough to talk about. So this is an Arnie and Carlos, a Reggie I believe. I have no idea what color it is. I found it at Happy Knits in Skowhegan, which by the way, there's going to be more talking about Happy Knits because every time I go in there, they have commercial sock yarn that I can't get anywhere else. It's not at the Cashmere Goat, it's not at Heavenly Socks. So every time I go in there, I always buy at least one yarn of commercial sock yarn, one ball, because they have stuff that nobody else does. So this is, again, heel flap and gusset, vanilla sock. This is 64 stitches because my gauge is different with the commercial yarns. I also have another one, and they're pretty matchy. Not really, actually. They never make my socks match. I don't know. Remember that whole perfect pair dilemma I had where I knit the leader yarn on? Oh, I do. All right. And my last finished object is not going to fit on my sock blockers, so I'm going to put those over here. You're never going to believe it. I have just been knitting. And I finished a pair of advent calendar socks. I mean, it's only been like, what, 8 months? But yeah, I finished the pair that I had gotten from a viewer in South Dakota. They were balls that I would do one on each foot, and they made this really cool rainbow. Like green to blue to purple to red. I played some serious yarn chicken. I had to actually join another yarn in the bind off because things are bad. But they're even. There's 2 of them. They're fairly long. I did in one of the days get this absolutely adorable progress keeper. It's little snowflakes in a jar. So I put that on there as I was going. Thank you so much for this advent calendar. I cannot believe they're done. I am so excited to wear these. They're they come up just below my knee, so they're awesome. I did Fish Lips Kiss Heel, traditional. So that means it's knit, not purled on these. So I have a super long pair of advent calendar socks. And I have one last finished object, which you guys are going to be super excited to see because you've been on this epic journey with me for this since March. I cast it on in March. When I was in Montana, I did the body of it. I did the sleeves. And then it took me a small eternity to get through the color work. But my Romanian friend, yes, the one that colorway is named after, had a baby last December. And I told her I'd knit her a sweater. So here it is. I made it the 12 to 18 month size because she lives in Texas. And any of my viewers in Texas or the surrounding areas will know this baby's going to probably wear this once. So I'm going to send it out now so that if she does do Christmas cards, because she real fancy. She's going to get all the family dressed up. They're going to do super awesome Christmas cards. And when she was living here and we were talking, she always wanted these sweaters, and so I'm sending this to her so she can, if it fits, I mean it will eventually, it's a pretty big sweater, I mean it almost could fit me. But if it doesn't fit next year, but I'm going to send it to her. Look at that, isn't that so flippin' cute? So the bottom blue yarn is String Theory. This is her merino cashmere base. And then at the top is Knit Pick Stroll. And it is blocked. The ends are woven in. It is ready to be packaged up and sent to her. This is the Bohem sweater. There's both a baby and adult size one. This is the baby one. I bought the pattern before the adult one came out. Kind of gonna have to buy both of them. I really enjoyed this pattern. I really enjoyed making it. There was some weird confusion when I did the sleeves about holding stitches on a stitch marker. This is just new to me. I'm new to knitting sweaters. And so I had to pick up those stitches when I wove all my ends in and sew it up. And that was just weird. And so, I mean, I'm sure it's fairly normal. I don't know. If it is, let me know. If you have any advice on doing it, comment below. I was a little confused. I just kind of blindly followed. But the pattern also didn't tell me anything about how to do it. It just said graph stitches, weave in ends, and I was like, what? So if you have any advice or a YouTube video or anything like that on a better way to seal up these armpits, I mean, it's not pretty. It's not ugly. It's a kid's armpit. And a sweater that I'm not even sure is going to fit because, you know, my knowledge on children's sizes is 0. So I'm going to send that off to her. Hopefully she loves it. Well, she will love it. Hopefully it fits her tiny tot at least some point in its life. And because it's big, maybe it'll fit 2 seasons. I don't know. Fingers crossed. Put a lot of energy into this. I always think about sending off baby sweaters. You're like, come on, please put it on your child and take pictures. She's an Instagram girl. She's a fashionista. She's amazing. So I'm sure if anyone's going to send me pictures of this baby in this baby sweater, it's going to be her. All right. Awesome. All right. So let's move on to works in progress. I have a couple of them. And then I've got some acquisitions. I've got some things to talk about as far as what I've been up to, because I did do some fun things as far as Maddfuzzy goes. Maybe I'll just throw them in randomly, you know. I did the Common Ground Fair. I actually talked at the Common Ground Fair. I gave 3 talks this year. I'm going to definitely do it again. If you were at one of those talks, thank you so much. It was a lot of fun. It was a little stressful. There's a lot of things to bring into the fair. I did a talk on dyeing with an e-roaster. I did a talk on drum carding and blending, which went really well. I think that was my best talk. And then I gave a talk on durable socks and how to make your socks more durable. All great, all well attended. I was really happy with them. But carrying in the e-roaster and the drum carder was a bit much. The fair is big, you know, parking, you're riding in. So maybe next year I might do something a little bit more lightweight. But I think people really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed hanging out at the fair both days. The Common Ground Fair's fair put on by Mafka here in Maine at the Common Ground Fairgrounds. And it's just sort of a celebration of rural living, and everything has to be organic. It's a great event. Yeah, so if you did attend, thank you. I had fun. I hope you did too. And yeah, I hope to be doing it again in the future. It was great. And it was great for Maddfuzzy. You know, it's nice, they say, any publicity is good publicity. So people got my name on their lips, and yeah. All right. So how to work in progress. This is probably why I don't have a lot of things done in this world, because and you'll see, oh, I'm all tangled. Shoot. Hold on a second. So I had another advent calendar, and these are identical. So I'm only going to show you one because they're sort of absurd. We have passed nutty, we've passed crazy. This is officially insane. When I do my advent calendars this year, because I do think I want to do a swap again. If someone's out there interested in doing a swap with me, I'm going to do it very differently next year. We're going to use less yarn, I think. So I have been just sort of knitting away on these, because sometimes you just need vanilla knitting. And I think I'm at day 18. So we're not there yet, but we're like seriously close. And these are socks. In case you were wondering if I was making a scarf. No, these are socks. They've got Fish Lips Kiss Heel in garter stitch. I said, there they are, Fish Lips Kiss Heel in garter stitch. I like this more than the traditional one, but I'm still not 100% on the fit. But they're up past my knee. They're up like halfway up my thigh. I'm just keep increasing on one needle. So I have a lot more stitches on this back needle than I do on the front. But they're fitting. They're getting bigger. I am increasing. And in no known rate. So they are increasing a little bit on the back. I've been increasing like 2 times down here per row, and then about here I put a little marker in. I've been increasing, I think, 3 times per row. So they are getting bigger. They are fitting. They're massive. These are going to be definitely my like underneath my snow pants socks. Half long john, half sock. But geez, I still have a couple to go. I gotta get going back on these. I'd like to get them before the snow flies, or at least before my next advent calendar. Right? So that's living in, of course, the bag I got from the advent calendar, which I absolutely love, with the teapots, polka dots. One of my favorite all-time bags. All right. What else has I been working on? Okay. I've been working on this pretty good. I have lost the contrast color somewhere in my moving. So I need to pull another skein out of my stash and do this. This is my BFL DK weight yarn. And this is my Thalia shawl by Andrea Mowry. It's actually gotten bigger. I am finally through all these chevrons. There are 1.5 million chevrons, and then I just got to the stockinette section. And then there's an arrow section in tassels and bind off and whatnot. So I'm close. It is so soft. It is so plump. I am loving this yarn. Every time I drive by New Beat Farm, that's where I source this BFL cross from, and I see those sheep out there, I get excited about next year's shearing and getting that up to the mill and doing more of this because it's a great yarn. It's so squishy and so plump. It's got a nice stretch to it. So I have been working on Thalia, not too much. Sorry about that. My card was full. I had to delete some videos, some past podcasts that I've just let chillin'. So wrap this up. In conclusion, Thalia shawl. It is in my countryside colorway. It is growing rapidly, and hopefully I will have this done by the next episode as well. It's just a matter of finding the next color, joining it, and finishing it up. All right, put that over here. So then my last work in progress, at least the last one that I can think of that I have or have worked on is my purse knitting. It's a pair of opal socks. It is a half finished object. I've been spending some time knitting at the bar. So this is an opal. I bought it on Etsy. I did a fish lips kiss heel in garter stitch. I will probably end up giving these away. I am not a huge fan of how they fit. And Christmas is coming, so I've got Christmas knitting to deal with. So there's the other one. Oh, I do have another work in progress, so I'll go grab that real fast when I'm done talking about this. So I'm working these on my signature needles, and honestly, so I bought a bunch of this opal, I think 4 skeins, 4 balls, on Etsy. I really want to try it. The colors are great. I keep seeing it on Instagram. I really, really like it. So I wanted to try it. I ordered this ball, and it's really thin and splitty. I'm not enjoying knitting these socks at all. The signature needles are very pointy, and they're just splitting this yarn like nobody's business. And it's not very soft. And I mean, it's hardy feeling, but I don't know. I'm just not super happy. I've been very happy with Regia. I've been beyond happy with Lang, the owl, but I'm not super happy with this opal. And I still have, I think, 3 more skeins. I have one hidden in some project bag. Oh, I think it's this project bag. But I've got 2 more skeins. This one feels softer, and they both feel a little bit denser, so maybe it's just a weird skein, but I got these 2. I mean, she had tons. It was just a shop that like literally only sells opal. And here's the last one, which I really like. I mean, I spent a long time because it was dead at the bar. I just sort of was shopping and throwing things in my cart and then going through them again and being like, yeah, I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this. So yeah, we'll see if I like the other ones more. Not super happy. I mean, I love the colors. Holy cow, the colors are great. You know, I'm a sucker for anything with pink in it. But it's just not the best feeling yarn. Sorry about these strings hanging out. We'll see. All right, I'm going to put me on pause real fast. I'm going to go grab that project. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Sorry about that. I wanted to show you this because I literally just cast it on a few days ago, and I know I have talked to you about what I wanted to do with this yarn, and it was this, but I think this is what I'm going to do for Christmas for people. So this is my first one. These are the Wanderer slippers. So it is a worsted weight yarn. This is done by Andrea Mowry. It's a worsted weight pattern, and it's got this great diamond chevron arrow pattern. Goes down, you do an afterthought heel. I I am super excited. The pattern is so nice. Like, this is not take all of my mental strength colorwork pattern. It is really easy to figure out what's next. So I can do this while I'm watching TV. I can do it when I'm a little tired. So that's how I've gotten so far. I did this 2 days. I mean, not very much knitting time, just sitting there. I've become addicted to New Girl. I feel like I got on this boat very late. But I am in love with New Girl. I've just been watching it. I'm in the first season, but in my defense, there's like 40 episodes in the first season or something ridiculous like that. There's so many episodes. I think I'm on episode 23. So I've been watching for a while. If this was Sherlock or something like that, or Game of Thrones, I'd be 4 seasons deep already. But it's like cotton candy. TV cotton candy. It's always, there's no plot. It's just funny. They're just fun. They're over the top. So I'm really digging on New Girl. I've just been watching nothing but New Girl. And my new roommate likes to watch a lot of movies, so he's been picking the movies. I'm terrible at picking things to watch, so I've been watching good movies and New Girl. I'm working on some fabulous colorwork mittens, or not mittens, slippers. So I'll finish these up. I got a second one, obviously, things that come in twos. And I've got a bunch of worsted weight yarn left over from a couple years ago. I did a bunch of hats. There's even a podcast episode about it. So I'm going to actually do a bunch of these for people. I think this is going to be the gift of choice. It's going really fast. So I'm going to work on those for people. Yeah. And that is what I am knitting. Haha! I know, it's been a bunch. It's a bunch, but I've had a lot of time to do it. So don't expect this every episode if you're new. But yeah. So let's talk about some things that I purchased. You saw my whole opal collection. And the other day I was out in Skowhegan. Me and a friend of mine, we went to dinner at a Chinese restaurant there, and I convinced him to take me to Happy Knits. Went in Skowhegan, go to Happy Knits, and much to my joy and surprise, they're carrying West Yorkshire spinners. Can you believe it? And it was so cheap. It was like $12.50 a ball. I know you guys across the pond are like, oh wow, you're paying, that's quite the retail price. But for us over here, that's really good. So I got one of their Christmassy ones. I think it's actually part of their bird line, but it's gonna be Christmas socks. Got 2 balls of Christmas socks to get going here. As soon as I finish this episode, I might just cast on another pair of socks. I should have at least 2 going in case it gets stuck in some heel. And then I couldn't say no to this. You know how much I love my Lang. You know how much I love pink. I could not say no. I mean, it's going to be like pink and white stripes. Can you believe this? Yeah. Yeah. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. So I got those 2. Flushing out the commercial sock yarn drawer. As when in doubt, knit commercial socks. While I was at the Common Ground Fair, I had to get my, traditional Matta root bag. I decided this year, because I had been working so much and so hard, that I should splurge and buy myself something awesome. So I got a big bag. Yeah, pink ball of yarn. Isn't this so cute? Oh my goodness. And she does such quality work. It's such a heavy canvas, and I love this. She silk screened them all herself. She makes her own silk screens. So I bought the big bag, and then she had like a little sale area of little bags. And they were like, I think $4 a piece or something like that. So I got a couple of these, and I've got another one here that I'll be giving as a giveaway. So that'll be for you guys whenever I do figure out another giveaway, or maybe for Skeindeer All Year, part of the grand prize. But I did get you all one. So I got myself 2, and I got you 1. Looking out for you. And lastly, I purchased, so I saw this on Instagram. I pre-ordered it. And you could order a t-shirt and a bag, so I did. Because this is the greatest thing ever. Her name is Skeindeer, and she is in England, and she designed this fabulous logo. And it says, knit and purl can change the world. I got it on the bag. This is the tote. I also got it on a t-shirt, which obviously not wearing today, but wear all the time. Get so many compliments on it. I love it. So if you're interested, these are still available in her Etsy shop. I'll link down below to both her Instagram and her Etsy shop. And you can get yourself one because they're so cool. They're so cool. All right. So that concludes that. Let's see. Oh, so as you know, I'm a big fan of the Chevy Rel podcast. And she has been soldering and creating these gorgeous soldered pieces. And we've been friends through the podcast. We met in real life. She's an amazing human. She's extremely talented. And when she asked me for my P.O. box, I kind of hoped I was getting one of these. And I did. You may recognize this one, in fact, from the Chevy Rel podcast. Look at this. It's a pink. Yes, got my number, girl. It is a pink swatch. It is like literally a swatch behind glass on a chain to wear around my neck. I love it so much. I haven't put it in my mouth. Don't worry. If you watch the Chevy Rel podcast, you know what I'm talking about. But I have been wearing it, and I absolutely love it. So thank you so much, Chevis. I am so sorry it has taken me so long to officially put this on film and show everyone this amazing piece. But better late than never, and thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love it. It's so my style. It goes with everything I own. Literally, I've been wearing it at the bar. I've been wearing it out on dates. Yeah, love it. So thank you. You're the best. And if you haven't checked out the Chevy Rel podcast, you should. Definitely one of my absolute favorite podcasts of all time. Chevy is addicting and funny and amazing in real life and on YouTube. So check her out. And I hope to meet her at Rhinebeck 2020. She officially said she was going to try. So I'll try too, girl. Maybe we can all get there. What else did I want to talk to you about? So the Etsy shop's all stocked up. I did produce 2 new bases that I've been promoting on Instagram mostly. And that is my new cloud fingering, cloud single ply. It's actually a sport weight yarn, 300 yards per 100 grams. This is it in the chain. I also have it in Countryside, Bryce, and Madame. But in the chain, it's just stunning. Look at that. Oh, so nice. But this is a Icelandic textile cross, so it's kind of, I'd say it's almost like Lopi in its halo and density, but it's softer because of the textile. So it's like a sport weight Lopi with a little bit more softness to it. But it's got that same density. It's not a light ply. And it's got that halo. And then my next new base, which I have in, let me see here. I have it in Bryce. I think I only have it on Bryce right now. Like I said, I'm having issue dyeing right at the moment. But this is 100% Clune Forest. And it is so plump and so squishy and so nice. So I have it on Bryce, but it's a very defined ply. It's a 2-ply, again, a sport weight, 300 yards per 100 grams. I did the math. I just bought a new yardage counter. So it's so squishy. And this is called my squish fingering, even though it is a sport. So that's basically what's been happening around here. That's the Maddfuzzy life. Trying to get settled, trying to figure out how to progress my business. And I'm sorry if this was a little bit all over the place, but I just needed to kind of clear the board and be like, this is what I've done so that I can start coming to you more often. So if you've made it through this episode, thank you. Love you. You're the best. If you're still knitting your Skeindeer projects, keep putting them in that thread. We still got a few months left for the grand prize drawing. Yeah. And I hope, wherever you are, you're warm and safe and dry and having a great start to your winter or a great end to your fall. Or if you're on the other side of the world, it would be happy summer. Aren't you glad you made it? I wish we were going back into summer. Oh, I'm not prepared for winter. This lake house is a really nice wood stove, though. I should be pretty warm. So, all right. Well, I'm going to get going. It was a pleasure talking to you. I am so happy I could take the time to sit down and chat. I have not done this in so long. I feel so out of practice, but thanks. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And as always, enjoy your knitting. See ya.